Hi guys, welcome back again to my channel. Yay! Well, last week I played Human Fall Flat with B, and in this week I am back with another podcast. And in this video, I will talk to you about manipulation. Why? Because on the previous podcast, you can click on right there. On the previous podcast, I talked about fake friends who sometimes make us do bad things and sometimes they are good to us too. So it's kind of confusing because we are like, are they good or are they bad or things like that? Like, we are basically confused whether or not we supposed to leave them or just stay with them. So yeah, it's about manipulation. I will talk about it more in this video. So before you continue to watch this video, you can click on the subscribe button and the notification bell button and enjoy watching this unnecessarily long video of me talking about life and stuffs. Well, enjoy. Okay, so we will talk about manipulation. Basically, manipulation is the thing that the manipulator do to control you, to get hold of you, to control your movement and your emotion and everything. Basically, just want to control you. Why? Because they want to get advantage of you and they want to do anything they like without someone stopping them. Basically, like that. And everything they do is for getting control of you, and they will twist stories, they will use your weakness, they will do this and they will do that just to keep themselves safe, you know, especially when you are trying to confront them for the bad things they do. So I will write it down here. Like, number one is they will try to use your weakness. They will try to use your weakness. Like, um, we have this kind of weak spot that if someone flatter us, if someone compliment us, like they are using some kind of, let's write it here, flattery, like, oh, you're beautiful today, or oh, you're so cool if you do this or if you do that, things like that. So they do use your weakness because they know your insecurities. Like me back then, I always think, well, until now, I always think that I am ugly. So if someone tell me that I'm pretty and I look good if I do this or if I do that, then I will probably listen to them, like they use this kind of flattery, or they also use those kind of complimenting, like boys are like wanting to get that kind of, previously I talked about approval. They want to be approved as a real man. So if someone tell them that hurting a girl will make them look cool, or if they do drugs they will look cool, or if they smoke they will look good and they will look cool, and girls will like them for that, and they will probably do those kind of bad things to prove themselves, because they don't want to be seen as a coward, or uh, as a weak person, something like that. So yeah, it's like they use your weakness to get control of you, to make you do things that you're not supposed to do. And the other thing is they usually like mm, victim blaming. So this victim blaming is really, really common, because when we try to confront them, they do this victim blaming because they want to blame others for the bad things they done. Usually, this kind of victim blaming is like in bullying, or in, I'm sorry to say this, but in sexual abuse case. So, yeah, it's usually victim blaming. They blame others for the bad things they do. Like, why are you so weak? It's because you're so weak. It's because you don't fight back. It's because you don't scream. It's because you wear such clothes. It's because you walk out in the night, something like that. So you got raped and you got sexually abused, things like that. Or even in marriage, like if the husband wants to do sexual intercourse with the wife, but the wife is like saying no to him, but he wants to get what he wants, and he end up abusing the wife, uh, even sexually abuse the wife, then he would say like, it's your fault because you didn't give me what I want, so I have to force you, things like that. And it's part of being manipulative, they are being manipulative. And when you confront them, they just blame you because of it. And it's kind of hard because usually they do this kind of thing because they know if they blame you, people will only listen to them and not you. So if you are the victim, then no one will listen to you, and they think that people will take their side. So yeah, it's kind of hard for victim blaming because, well, I've been in that kind of situation. So yeah, basically victim blaming is part of my life. But with this kind of podcast, I wish that I can shout out. I wish I can like speak it up to warn people that those kind of behavior is very harmful. Those kind of behavior is very, very bad. So don't do it. Or if you know someone who do it, then you can try to run as fast as you can from them and just go away from there and not looking back, and it's better for you to find another friends. It's better for you to find another environment that is healthier than that. And if you cannot go out from there, then you have to do things that will protect you from them, because victim blaming and manipulating is very, very harmful for the victim. And the other thing is, other than victim blaming, if they cannot get control of you after they victim blaming you, they will do things like playing victim. So after they blame you, after they basically just blame you that they do bad things because of you, then they will try to play the victim. It's kind of hard because if we are good people, we also like having this weakness, like we don't like to see people crying or people being sad, you know. So when they do playing victim like this, it's like, well, I've experienced this myself with a certain someone that when he hurt my feelings, or when he do things that hurt me, either mentally or physically, he just, and I confront him because of it, he just do this kind of playing victim. Well, it's okay for boys to cry, but it's kind of weird to see a boy cry because getting confronted by the girl because they do bad things to the girl. So yeah, he cried in front of me, and well, he put on his sad face, and I really didn't know that I hurt your feeling. I don't know what is wrong with me, and I end up hurting your feeling, and I end up hurting you. Well, either physically or mentally. So yeah, it's called playing victim. Uh, One time, when he cried like that, so I don't really remember what he did wrong to me, but it really hurt my feeling, and I confronted him about it, and he just uh, previously it was in public, and the second time he cried like that is when we are alone. So it's kind of hard because, well, you can believe me or you can believe another story of me, but this is true. I say that this is true, but well, you can believe me or not. But at the second time he cried like that, it was when we were all alone, and I confronted him about his wrongdoings, and he just covered his he just covered his face and looking down like that and covering his face, and he cried while holding my hands, like uh, saying, I'm sorry, I really am sorry, and I want another chance, I want another chance, and saying that he didn't know that it will break my heart or things like that. And by the time he uh, lift his head up like that and look at me in the face, I found something weird about him because, if you cry, you will have either kind of wet eyes and red eyes, and your nose is kind of runny, but he didn't have anything like that. Like,
The eye is located immediately above the maxillary sinus and adjacent to the nasal cavity. Sinonasal airflow is shown by the white arrows. Tears are normally produced by the lacrimal gland located on the upper outer corner of the eye as well as the conjunctiva in order to protect the eyes and keep them moist. The tears flow across the eye and drain through tiny holes called puncta located in the inner corners of the upper and lower eyelids. The tears then travel into the lacrimal canal before they eventually flow into the nasolacrimal duct before emptying into and out the nose. This is why your nose runs when you cry.
He might have wiped his tears, but even if you wipe your tears, there will be some kind of trace of, the tears, like there is a little wetness on your eyelashes like that, but he didn't have that. So at that moment, I was very, very angry because I looked at his face and he was like crying, but he didn't have those kind of crying face. So I thought he fake it. Like, it's really weird to see someone crying like that without tears, without red eyes, without runny nose, because it's just like faking crying, fake cry things. So I told him to go on, just cry in front of me right now, in front of my eyes right now. Don't cover your face, just cry right now. Spill out your tears, something like that. But he said, like, he put on his sad face again and saying, like, I truly did cry. I didn't fake my cry. You have to believe me, I really did cry. So I said again that if you cry, your eyes must be like a little bit wet, and your eyes a little bit red, and your nose would be kind of runny, because crying is like that, even when you only started to want to cry, like, you are holding your tears, your nose is kind of a little bit runny, right? But he's not, he was not, so yeah. I told him to cry again in front of me, like, you really, really got to cry in front of me, so I can believe it. And he put on his sad face again and saying, I really, really did cry. You have to believe me. It's not a fake cry. If you don't believe me, then it's okay, and things like that. And uh, dealing with that kind of thing, victim person, is kind of hard, because uh, it's like we are being the bad guy. Like, I mean, they are the ones who do wrongs, but we are end up being the villain there. So it's really is tiring and kind of confusing and kind of upsetting, and but we cannot be upset, because if we are upset, then if we show emotion, like we are angry with them, then they can use it against us, like, oh, you are angry, or you're the one who are being emotional, you are being too emotional. So yeah, it's hard to live with such manipulator. It's really hard. And other than flattery, so I've given you the example, and let me write it down here. Other than flattery, they do also do those kind of questioning. Like, I usually got this kind of question, like, if it's from a boyfriend, then he will say things like, do you not love me anymore? If you do love me, then you have to do this and you have to do that. Or if it's parents, it's like, are you trying to go against me? I'm your parents. Like that. Or if it's a teacher, then the teacher would say things like, I'm your teacher. I'm more experienced in life than you, and you should respect me, and things like that. Even if they are wrong, you have to respect them, and you cannot go against them, and you cannot confront them, things like that. So basically, questioning is something like attacking you, but not attacking you. It's like making you doubt yourself. Am, am I right questioning them? Eh, Or am I right if I confront them? I shouldn't have confronted them. But if you do that, if you think that you shouldn't confront them, well, they win because that's what they want, right? Because they don't want to be confronted of their wrongdoings. They don't want to be confronted of their abusive behavior or something like that. So if you start to question yourself, and if you decide that, oh, I shouldn't have confronted them, well, yeah, they win because that's what they want. And other than questioning, they are also like, sometimes after those kind of problems, they do such apology and things. Uh, they apologize to you, but there will be buts. Not buts like buttocks, but buts. So I should write there. Wait. Apologizing, but with but yeah. I experienced this a lot too, that certain someone just apologizing but with buts, like, I'm sorry, but I didn't think that it would make you hurt. I'm sorry, but it's just me, so you have to accept me. I'm sorry, but uh, it's not something that I can control. I'm sorry, but blah 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 blah. So yeah, they will apologize to you to make them look good, like, oh, they are really apologizing to me, but with buts. Well, yeah, but with buts. It's like they are not sincerely apologizing to you. They are just wanting to look kind of good in front of you, but why are we saying a lot of buts today? Um, but yeah, they actually just wanna, you know, getting away from their wrongdoings, things like that, and probably just want to make peace with you at that moment, and then taking advantage of you again. So uh, sometimes it's like when they hurt you and then you confront them and then they do all the victim blaming and playing victim and use your weakness and blah 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 blah, uh, and they cannot win against you, so they know that, oh, uh, she really can't be tackled with this kind of play anymore. It's better for me to make peace now and use her later, like that. So they apologize to you, but with buts. Yeah. So they apologize to you to calm you down, to make you think that they are truly apologizing, they are truly sorry for what they have done. But later, another but later, after you probably forget of their current wrongdoings, they will like use you over again, you know. And when you confront them again, like you you did the same thing again like before, they will say this, but I've said sorry, but I've said sorry. Previously, yes, I did wrong things like this, but I've said sorry and you said you have forgive me. So why are you upset again? Uh yeah, that kind of thing. So it's kind of hard, because well, manipulators can have 1001 and a million reasons to take advantage of you, things like that. And if you finally get free, like if you finally go away from them because you finally realize that you cannot do this anymore, there will be such twisted stories and rumors and stuff, and back again to playing victim, telling that you are the one who are crazy and drives you mad. Uh, well, yeah, that was a song. Yeah, things like that. So they would end up telling bad stories about you to other people to make them look better than you and things like that. But Nurbak, uh, you know that whatever it is, if you know that you do right, then you are right. You know, don't be afraid because there are other millions and billions other good peoples out there who will accept you and trust you for what you do is right, and you don't have to be afraid. And sometimes, other than, oh well, I was about to say giving you expensive gifts and other things, it will go to flattery. So sometimes they buy you expensive things like rings or uh, even expensive bags or expensive this, expensive that, only to make them feel good about themselves. Like, oh, I've been treating my girlfriend really good that I gave her lots of expensive things. So I am a good boyfriend. Things like that. But in the end, they will probably abuse you and things like that. And uh, when people, uh, when you say to people that your boyfriend is abusive, other people wouldn't believe you because, really? I thought your boyfriend is really generous. I thought your boyfriend is really kind because he bought you a lot of expensive things. Like, he is really kind. And he do abuse you? I don't think so. Are you sure? Things like that. So it's again like victim blaming, and it's like trapping you in between, like making other people don't believe you. So they usually just build their um build their profile, things like that. So I should write it down, I guess. Building their good person profile. Well, yeah. Other than that good person profile, like giving you lots of expensive things, they can also hiding behind this kind of religious stuff. uh, I've read some stories about abusive husband who actually goes to church every Sunday. Like, you know, he's really religious, he's really kind with other people, but then in the home, he beats his wife like that. So, yeah, they usually build their good person profile to make people question if the victim is trying to confront them, trying to speak up, things like that. Like, he's a really good teacher. How come he abused you? How come he molested you? Things like that. And it's really hard to go against this kind of uh, manipulative person, because they have this good person profile and everyone thinks he's really, really good, but then uh, behind the curtain, they just beat you and they just use you and they took advantage of you and things like that. So it's really hard. This is why a lot of victim is afraid to go against the manipulator, because they are afraid if they speak up, people will turn to them and not the manipulator, things like that. And it's really, really hard, but don't worry, you are not alone. You are not alone. At least you have me right here. So I will support you if you have those kind of experience, because I have experienced those kind of things myself. So yeah. And another thing is, I want to say this, like, people always say that, then why are you with him? Then why are you with her? Then why are you still hanging out with your friends like that? Um, it's kind of hard because we again want to have this kind of approval. We want to be accepted by our environment, and we want to have some place we belong to, something like that. So usually those kind of manipulators, yeah, again building their good person profile, and we fall in love with them or we hang out with them, and after quiet some time they starting to try to get control of you and starting to showing their horns like that. And uh you are like, you already depend on them, It's like you already have this kind of attachment. Like when you want to cut off your toxic boyfriend, it felt like I've been building this relationship for years and I have to end it right now. It's kind of hard because uh, we will say things like, well, maybe we are being optimist, like maybe it's just this time. Maybe he can change. Maybe it's just me being sensitive right now. And that's what he told you, that you are being sensitive right now. So, yeah, it's kind of hard because you already have this kind of attachment to them. Like, they are my friends. I've been with them for years. And if I go out from there and if I stop hanging out with them, then I will have no friends. Things like that. So the feeling of that kind of I will be lonely after I confront them kind of things is scare us. It scares us because I don't want to be lonely after this. But if I don't leave him, then I will be stuck here forever and get abused every day, things like that. So it's really hard, especially if our environments and our society is very judging. Like, if you get divorced from your abusive husband or your abusive wife, then if you get divorced, people will talk about you behind you and things like that, and saying that you are unfaithful partner and stuff. So it's really really hard for us who experience this kind of thing to finally get out decide to get out from that kind of situation, because we have to prepare our mental, we have to prepare everything. If we want to divorce our husband, our abusive husband, then we have to make sure our child wouldn't get the bad effect from that and things like that. So it's really, really hard for us to get into that kind of situation, especially if uh, our family are, kind of judging and things like that. So yeah, it's really hard. But I understand you. So if you are in that kind of situation, I suggest that you find support out there. Like I believe there are some kind of support group and things like that to help you prepare your final battle and things like that. So yeah, it's better for you to find people to help you. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because sometimes we cannot do things alone. Sometimes we do need another people to help us, and it doesn't mean that we are weak. uh, we ask for help because we are weak, but because we know we are strong. But fighting against that kind of manipulator is really hard. Even one strong person isn't enough. So yeah, you have to find another people to support you. That's my suggestion. And for those who keep blaming that, uh, why are you having a relationship with him in the first place? Something like that. why are you married in the first place? And things like that. I want to say this. Sometimes it's like going into a lake, a pond, or something like that. I don't know if there is a crocodile in it or not, because sometimes there is no crocodile signs, like someone put on the lake area that beware, there will be a crocodile in the pond, in the lake, something like that. So sometimes it's like, because they built their good person profile, there will be like, it's safe to swim right here. So yeah, I get into that pond, I get into that lake, and then after I get in the lake, I think that, oh, swimming in here is fun and all, and it's safe and blah blah blah. Even after someone yell at me and saying that, beware, there is a crocodile in there. You don't know that there is a crocodile in there. I will doubt that person, like, I don't see any crocodile in here. Like, it's really safe here. Why don't you just join me and things like that? So I would kind of ignoring that warning, until I find the crocodile. Like I see the crocodile myself in that lake, So it's like that. Sometimes you just don't know if there is a crocodile in that or not. Like it's really hard because even if someone warns you, it's like, well, yeah, because they built their good person profile, it's kind of hard, until we experience it ourselves. Especially when they say that, you know, twisted stories about their past and things like that. And it's really, really hard to deal with that kind of manipulator thing. So, yeah. Don't blame the victim. Again, don't blame the victim. If they got abused, it's the abuser fault. If they got hurt, it's the person who hurt them that's at fault. So yeah, don't blame the victim. And if you listen, if you hear such stories about someone bragging that they abuse another one and proudly saying, "Oh yeah, I abuse my wife because my wife is very very ignorant and things." Well, you have to be careful with such person, because what kind of person is proud of beating someone else, it's kind of weird. Well, yeah, it's not, I've kind of concealed the story, but those who knows will knows. So yeah, I've been in such kind of situation. So yeah, don't believe someone who say proudly that they abuse someone, things like that. Well, yeah. Well, I hope this video can encourage you guys who are in that kind of manipulated situation to finally reach for help and get out of that situation as fast as you can, because it can actually kill you, I've experienced it myself, so yeah, I know. And some people said that I keep telling old stories of mine, like it's been years ago that I got manipulated. It's been years ago that I got hurt. Like, I'm now with B and I am happy, then why would I talk about my hurtful past, things like that? But I have to tell you this, it's really hard for someone to speak their mind out. It's really hard for us, the victims, to finally tell our stories. So, after years of getting encouragement from my friends, I finally have the courage to tell my stories in my own way like this. For what? For encouraging other people who are in the same situation as me back then. I hope that this kind of situation will not happen on another person, on another people, because I've experienced it and it was really hard. It was really hurtful. And I even wanted to, well, yeah, end my life. So I don't want other people to end their life because they are being manipulated, because they are being told that they are the wrong ones when they do nothing wrong. It's hard to speak up like this because I've recorded this previously and I stopped because I lost my words. I couldn't find the right words to describe things because I'm afraid that people will attack me because I speak up the truth. So I have to cover some of the stories and things like that because uh, it's really dangerous for me to speak up like this. Like, people will just attack me like this and that, saying that I'm the one who's not moving on and stuff. But you have to know that trauma is there for years and years and years, even there for my whole life, maybe. Like, I will not forget the things that someone have done to me like that. It's really hard, but here I am. I'm okay in my own room with B, and I'm okay that I'm healthy and I can speak up like this. I wish that people will have this kind of awareness to help another people when they ask for help. But you have to double check everything because sometimes the manipulator also playing victim. So yeah, uh, it's hard because we all end up having this kind of trust issues, don't know who we should help or not, but just do what you think is right. Believe what you think is right. Well, I guess that's all I can share with you in this video. I hope this encourages other people who experience such things like me. And even if it's years ago, it's okay for you to speak up. It's okay for you to tell your stories. Don't be afraid because there are millions and millions good people out there who will accept you for who you are. At least you got me, right? So yeah, that's all that I can share with you in this video. And if you like this video, you can click on the like button. If you want to share this video, then feel free to share it. And if you don't like this video, then well, just close it. And see you on the next video. And goodbye.